Welcome back to GH Always channel. Today we will learn about the fascinating and complex relationship dynamics unfolding between Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan, a situation that has captivated viewers and raised serious questions about love, danger, and self-preservation in Port Charles. The unstoppable force that is Carly Spencer. Carly Spencer embodies the quintessential risk-taker, a woman whose life philosophy revolves around following her heart regardless of consequences. Her rebellious spirit has been a defining characteristic throughout her tumultuous journey in Port Charles. When her brother Lucas Jones recently suggested she pursue a relationship with someone safe and predictable, a dentist, as he put it, Carly dismissed the notion entirely. For her, attraction has always been inextricably linked to danger and excitement, a pattern that has repeatedly placed her in precarious situations. This self-destructive tendency isn't merely a personality quirk, but rather a deeply ingrained aspect of her identity. Those closest to Carly have witnessed this pattern repeat itself throughout numerous relationships, yet their warnings fall on deaf ears. Her attraction to men with complicated lives and dangerous connections seems almost pathological, suggesting that perhaps the adrenaline rush of uncertainty is as addictive to her as any romance. The near-fatal encounter. The recent polonium poisoning incident represents perhaps the most dramatic illustration of how Carly's choices place her in harm's way. After months of tension-filled interactions and undeniable chemistry, Carly and Jack Brennan finally consummated their relationship. However, the afterglow quickly transformed into a nightmare scenario that nearly cost Carly her life. The champagne bottle, strategically placed in the hallway by Valentine Casadine, was clearly intended for Jack, a calculated assassination attempt against the WSB chief. Unaware of the danger, Carly indulged in a glass while Jack showered. By the time she poured her second glass, the poison had already begun its devastating work, causing her to collapse dramatically into Jack's arms. The polonium poisoning represents a particularly insidious method of assassination, chosen specifically for its difficulty to trace and its horrific effects on the human body. That Carly survived at all is remarkable, a testament to the quick medical intervention she received at General Hospital. The hospital aftermath and unheeded warnings. Carly's recovery room at General Hospital has become something of a revolving door for concerned friends and family, each arriving with variations on the same message. Jack Brennan's life as WSB director makes him a walking target, and by extension, places anyone close to him in the crosshairs of international assassins and criminal organizations. These warnings, delivered with increasing urgency, emphasize not only the danger to Carly herself, but also her responsibilities to others. Her children, particularly Michael Corinthus, who is currently recovering in a specialized German burn clinic, depend on her survival. Yet Carly's standard response remains unchanged. She steadfastly refuses to acknowledge any connection between Jack's profession and her brush with death. This denial reflects a deeper psychological pattern. Rather than processing the legitimate danger, Carly has constructed a narrative that allows her to maintain both her relationship with Jack and her self-image as someone who makes sound decisions. By insisting nothing is Jack's fault, she sidesteps the uncomfortable reality that her choices have potentially catastrophic consequences. Jason Morgan's intervention. Few people in Port Charles command respect like Jason Morgan, whose loyalty to Carly has been proven countless times throughout their complicated history. His intervention in this situation carries particular weight, as Jason rarely involves himself in Carly's romantic entanglements unless he perceives genuine danger. Jason's dual approach, confronting Jack directly while also appealing to Carly's sense of responsibility, demonstrates his understanding of the situation's gravity. His warning to Jack acknowledges that the WSB director's mere presence in Carly's life constitutes a threat, regardless of Jack's intentions or feelings. Simultaneously, his appeal to Carly emphasizes her maternal obligations, reminding her that her children, especially Michael in his vulnerable state, need her alive and well. That these interventions from Jason, a man who himself lives a dangerous life, haven't swayed Carly speaks volumes about her current mindset. When someone accustomed to risk warns you about excessive danger, prudence would suggest heeding that warning. Carly's refusal indicates either extraordinary stubbornness or a concerning inability to accurately assess threat levels. The psychology behind Carly's choices. What drives a woman like Carly Spencer to consistently choose relationships that place her in danger? The pattern suggests complex psychological thought at play. For some individuals, the intensity of relationships forged in dangerous circumstances creates a powerful emotional bond that feels more authentic than connections formed under ordinary conditions. Additionally, there's often an element of savior fantasy involved. the belief that one's love can somehow transform or protect a dangerous partner. Carly may subconsciously believe that her presence in Jack's life serves some redemptive purpose, or that their connection transcends the ordinary dangers of his profession. There's also the matter of identity. Carly has long defined herself as someone who lives by her own rules, making bold choices others wouldn't dare. To step back from Jack now, especially after surviving the poisoning, might feel like surrendering that core aspect of her self-image, an admission that her critics were right all along. What lies ahead for Carly and Jack? As viewers, we find ourselves at a fascinating juncture in this storyline. Carly stands at a crossroads with multiple possible paths forward, the responsible choice distancing herself from Jack to ensure her safety and availability to her children seems unlikely given her established patterns of behavior. More probable is that Carly will not only maintain her connection to Jack, but potentially deepen it, perhaps even becoming more involved in his dangerous world. The poisoning incident, rather than serving as a deterrent, may paradoxically strengthen their bond through shared trauma and heightened emotional intensity. This trajectory raises compelling questions about the nature of love versus obsession and about where the line between courage and recklessness truly lies. Is Carly's determination to remain in Jack's orbit, despite the dangers, an act of remarkable bravery, or is it a manifestation of self-destructive impulses that she's yet to acknowledge? The coming weeks will undoubtedly bring further complications, as Valentin Cassadine is unlikely to abandon his vendetta against Jack. Will Carly become more directly involved in these dangerous machinations? Will Jack ultimately be the one to end things, prioritizing Carly's safety over his own desires? Or will external forces, perhaps Jason or another unexpected ally, intervene in ways that force a resolution? Whatever unfolds, one thing remains certain. Carly Spencer will continue to chart her own course, regardless of warnings, regardless of danger, and regardless of the potential cost to herself and to those who love her.